Hi everybody there. Here we are in South America, and of course our good friend and great mate and great friend of the industry, Robbie Bastion, would have been with us on this trip, but obviously it wasn't to be. We just wanted to pay our respects to Robbie and all his friends and family and say hello to everyone back home. Robbie was a great mate to everybody here. He always represented our region very, very well and was very, very quick to help anybody help where they needed it. He was a great bloke. We're going to miss him a lot, and I just wanted to say on behalf of everybody here in South America, we're really missing him, and we will continue to miss him for quite some time to come. Ben?
Look, yeah, I haven't got a lot more to say. I think Brian really said it all. I think it's been a huge loss to all of us in the industry, particularly up in Cairns and Great Barrier Reef region. Robbie was a legend to so many of us. I know he was a mentor to myself and many others in the industry, just in his way of just sharing his knowledge and sharing his passion and great stories that would always make us chuckle. But it has been somber to some degree on this trip to obviously know that there's a big gap where Robbie would have been. But we've all got through it, and we know that he's been with us in spirit this whole journey. So I think you'll say,
here's to Robbie.
Here's to Robbie.
Here's to Robbie.
Hi Robbie, this is Peter Cryan, and I'd rather be sending this video to you than about you. Mate, you are the consummate professional in the tourism industry in North Queensland, and that's exactly where they got that definition from, the consummate professional. You helped me and Jackie in the success of Coral Sands when we took it over in the 1990s. You took me on a European mission and opened so many doors to me. And the way you are held in esteem by those people over there, I was in awe of. We had a fabulous trip, and one of my great memories was sitting in a bar in Innsbruck, talking to this young lady, this blonde, beautiful lady, and both you and I were absolutely sure that it was Claudia Schiffer. To this day, we don't know whether it really was, but anyway, we had a wonderful time, and you opened, as I said, you opened many doors for me. Also, look, mate, all I can remember is those wonderful photos of you sitting at Lunico's of an afternoon having your Chardonnay with Trinity Beach in the background, plus the fabulous photos that you sent all the time of the sunsets and the sunrises. Robbie, thanks for everything. You've been a great mate and a great help. Thank you.
I have so many memories of Robbie. It's really difficult to narrow them down, but I think my overwhelming memory of him is huge kindness and love from my first visit to Australia, where I knew no one, I didn't know anything, to Tossers Awards for Best Hospitality in the middle of nowhere, him disappearing during a dinner at the 8 Bells and reappearing outside the window wearing a vintage World War II army helmet. Pure Robbie. His kindness and love when our daughter was born, reflected again when life, as it does, throws you a bit of a curveball. I will be forever grateful that he was part of my life. I will miss him hugely, and the world is a much sadder place without him in it. Cheers, my friend, and thank you for the memories.
Well, good afternoon everyone, and hello from London. I first met Robbie in 1999 at a pre-ATE event, and before the event Brian Hennessy had warned me that these Queensland blokes, they like a drink or two. Well, I don't remember much about the afternoon, but I do know that for the rest of that week and ever since, Robbie was part of my life. He was a good mate. Whenever he was in the UK, we'd always try and meet up at the Stanhope Arms in Gloucester Road. He'd keep me entertained all night with his funny stories, his wise counsel, always a big grin and far too many beers. I really miss those nights, but I will forever treasure the memory of them. So here's to you, Robbie. God bless you, and the receipt's in the post.
I just wanted to pay a really heartfelt tribute for Robbie Bastion. He'll be so sorely missed. such a great guy, so welcoming to arrive at ATE and see his beaming face and his infectious enthusiasm, just for people, but for Australia and for far north Queensland. His contribution, along with all the other guys from far north Queensland, in getting Australia on the map in the UK will never be forgotten. The guy was an absolute legend, and all my love to his family and to all his workmates who will sorely miss him. And he was a real friend of the UK, and we'll miss him very much.
This is Merschen in Los Angeles, and I get to reflect on Robbie's life and influence. After several decades of working with the Australian travel community, it was Robbie who reached out and truly wanted me to become completely bilingual. And now when I look back at the dictionary he gave me, I realize the terms like fair dinkum, good on ya, and most importantly, true Aussie bloke, all had his picture next to it. As he goes on to the next world, I realize Robbie gets what he always wanted, the perpetual lie flat seat. Robbie, rest in peace, and thanks for all the memories.
G'day everyone. When I first arrived in Cairns about 27 years ago, Robbie was one of the people I met very early on, one of the original hunt and pack crew, sell the destination first, work the relationships, and importantly, have fun along the way, have lots of fun along the way. I mean, really have some serious fun along the way. And Robbie certainly did that. My couple of memories of Robbie were firstly of the planning and success of the Paradise Found Roadshow. I wish I could have gone on that. Such an amazing initiative. To this day, probably the best industry initiative that I've seen in all my time at TTNQ and Tourism Australia. The other two things I remember were the launch of the Lost in Continents Tales in Adelaide. I think it was the night of the ATE welcome function. Fantastic event. Robbie the star, signing books at the launch and never quite making it to the ATE welcome function. The other was a rather infamous Down Under Tours ATE party. It could have even been the same ATE, where I last recall Robbie wandering around with a cardboard box on his head. That was an excellent night, and those of you who were there will remember that. That was the fun side of Robbie, but I also remember someone who knew his markets, his partners, and absolutely loved what he did, and people loved him. We seriously need more Robbies in this industry. They're few and far between these days. Robbie, thanks for the memories. I'll be picking up your book for a reread and a laugh in the coming days. I couldn't do this without a glass of wine. Cheers, mate.
Hi, I'm James Lavelle, and I was with the ATC in the USA from 1998 to 2002. I met Robbie at the first Aussie Trading Post more than 30 years ago. And over the next 11 years, across numerous other trading posts, ATEs, Aussie Specialist Conventions, and countless U.S. invasions by he and Todd Parker, we formed a solid bond and close friendship. That was an exciting time, made all the more vibrant and colorful by what seemed to be his constant presence in the U.S. market. FNQ is a unique destination with unique personalities, and no one embodied that more than Robbie. He sold the tropical north with a dedication rarely seen. Always loyal, rarely misfiring, and frequently profane, Robbie made an impression and an impact on the U.S. market that will not be forgotten. He was a living legend and will be missed greatly by the old school Aussie crew here in the USA. Please raise a beer for me in his memory today.
Hello, everybody. This is Kieron Keady in Tustin, Orange County, Southern California. Andrew's asked me to make this little video about our friend Robbie Bastion. What do I say about somebody that I've known since 1987, maybe before. I started as the hotel rep for the Telford Hides Hotel in Cairns, and got to know tourism pioneers for the area like Graham Gordon and Moss Hunt and Robbie and Michael Healy and Todd Parker, and we became fast friends over the years, and we tried to meet up anywhere and everywhere we could worldwide. I moved to Australia in 1992 to 95 and spent a lot of time with Robbie, and I'm just privileged to have called him a dear friend. Just so people understand, before the internet, you know, it was all about getting pages and travel brochures. When I started, the only thing in an American travel brochure for Australia was a red carpet ANZIT Pioneer coach tour from Sydney to Canberra to Melbourne. By the late 80s, Robbie and the gentleman I've mentioned and other people, Don and Judy Freeman, got their products into millions of pages around the world and basically changed an itinerary for leisure visitors to Australia to include Cairns and Port Douglas in every trip, and as a must-do. And it you know, soon Continental Airlines started landing planes there from the United States, Qantas, etc., and you know, an industry took off. I suppose from a business point of view, it enriched the tax revenues and coffers of the Shire of I forget the Shire's name that Kansas in, and the city and Port Douglas and the growth that took place. So these guys all had played a critical part of it. I don't think they enriched themselves as much as they did the areas in the real estate that you all live in. But you know, I miss Robbie, and we had a date to see each other this September that, alas, he's not going to make. He was something else. We shared a love of the written word, a turn of a phrase, the odd characters we knew around the world, and there'd be some funny people. I even got him up on stage to sing Hank Williams' "Your Cheatin' Heart" one night in Nashville, Tennessee, that he never forgave me for. But anyway, we called him the Dark Prince or King Chardonnay. I had many a hangover thanks to Robbie Bastion, but I will miss him dearly, and I'm richer for having known him, and I think we all are. And so, good night, sweet Prince.
Standing here in Hobart, overlooking the Derwent River, but my thoughts are 3,500 miles north to Robbie and his family and friends. Always enjoyed catching up with Robbie. He was a legend of tourism. Easy to work with, terrific knowledge, so helpful to everyone, and read people beautifully. I really admire the way he saw right through me. He'll be missed by so many. Rest in peace, Robbie.
Hey, Farah, I've come for God's people. You have to let them go. And if you say no, you're in for a show. I've got 10 plagues that will screw Egypt for years. Don't make me angry. The first one dries up your beer.
Beer? Dries up my beer? Come on, Noah, don't get your nuts in a knot. Why don't you go and wander the desert for 40 years, but bloody hell it'll be hot. And as for the slaves, I'll have a look at them. You can have them, they're no use to me. Tourism's a hard bloody game, mate, just you wait and see. I can tell you, if it wasn't for the drugs and the beer, it wouldn't be for me.
Right, come on guys, we're out of here.
And so it came to be that Moses and the Israelites wandered the desert for 40 years, much like an ATEC Central Australian tour.
G'day everybody, my name's Michael Healy, and I've had the enormous privilege of working with Robbie Bastion and travelling the world with Robbie for many years. Currently I am the elected state representative for the people of Cairns, and I sit in the state legislature. I wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for Robbie Bastion. His help was absolutely enormous, and I met Robbie in '92 when I moved up from Sydney, and then in '94 he employed me and I started working and travelling, selling the Quicksilver products. And from that time on, he has been a consistent in my life. Robbie leaves behind him two very impressive women, who one was to Gail, the mother of his two beautiful kids, James and Jessie, and then to Vicki. And I extend my condolences to those two wonderful women and those beautiful kids and the grandkids that will be terribly missed by Robbie, no doubt. But I just want to say thank you. I want to say a deep sense of gratitude from knowing Robbie, his amazing contribution to the development of Far North Queensland as a tourism destination, his engagement with the industry players around the world. It really is, it is quite amazing. There is nobody out there like him. So you'll be missed, my old friend. We made sure that the Road Warrior got some exposure in the local paper, and it covers your journeys quite well. But to Robert William Bastion, I miss you dearly, old mate, and you did a fantastic job. And Vale, and rest well.
Robbie was a frontline pioneer in the tourism industry from the very beginning. He made an enormous difference to the tourism industry, not only in Far North Queensland, but across Queensland and way beyond. He made also, importantly, a big difference to the many people he travelled with, worked with, and just came in contact with over the decades he was in our industry and was available to our industry. He will be sorely missed by everybody who was in touch with him, and he will be remembered as a great friend and as a great friend of the tourism industry. Robbie, travel safely through the universe. I'm sure you'll have plenty of fun. Take care.
Hi everyone, I'm Ruth Grau.
And I'm Warren Grau with Springboard Vacations here in California. We've known Robbie for more than 30 years.
May your memories bring you comfort. I've thought a lot about that statement this week as I've sifted through my own memories of Robbie.
Robbie would always come to our home for dinner whenever he was in LA. I'd cook him steak and potatoes, no veggies of course, and he'd always bring a flower for our daughter Bridget. She's known him since she was born. She always felt included. Robbie had a way of making everybody feel special.
Some of those nights were big red wine nights where we talked late into the night, and some of those were quiet nights where Robbie got to take a break from being larger than life.
To Jess and James, although I don't think we've met you, we kind of feel like we know you because Robbie talked about you so often. He was so incredibly proud of you and of your families.
Robbie lived a full life. He was rich in experiences, travel, friends, and life itself. We can't imagine trade shows or road shows without him. He was always a friendly face in the crowd. May we all find comfort in our memories of him today.
It's a very sad day when I heard of Robbie's passing. Having worked with Robbie in the QTTC Sydney office many years ago, this photo I have up on my home office wall to me says it all. What a fabulous time that was. We worked hard, we played hard, but through it all, we had a great time. My condolences to Robbie's family and to all who knew him. R.I.P. legend, we will miss you. Thanks for the memories. Regards to all, Janice Tessier.
Firstly, my sincere condolences to Robbie's family and his closest friends. I first met Robbie in the late 1980s working in the QTTC Females team and then in the TQ North American office. Robbie was the original road warrior. He didn't just know the markets, he knew the people and the importance of building relationships. I had the absolute pleasure of working closely with Robbie, coordinating the ground arrangements for the Paradise Found roadshow across USA and Canada. It was such a difficult time after 9/11, and he just knew what the market and TNQ needed at the time. There were so many aspects that were not your typical sales mission, all reflecting Robbie's style. Informal over a few drinks, having a bit of fun with mates, while watching Wilson bouncing his way through the TNQ products. It will always be remembered as one of Robbie's greatest legacies. He lived life to the fullest with humour, friendship, and an amazing passion for the tourism industry. Robbie, I hope you are sitting comfortably with a drink in hand and entertaining everyone with your amazing life stories. Fly high, Robbie. Cheers from Zachy.
I stand at the feet of the great Caesar, a man whose incontinence conquests pale to the exploits of the great road warrior Robbie Bastion, who have done more for Far North Queensland and Australia than any other man I know. Tourism Australia has put a huge erection up in Cairns to honour your exploits, my friend. Similar one here, but a little bit life in it. In the words of the great Caesar, you came, you saw, you conquered. Robbie Bastion, we love you, we love you.
G'day from New York. Gail and I joined a very long list of people from all over the world who already miss Robbie terribly. The man is irreplaceable. 35 years of friendship. How many memories do we all have? From us picking him up on a cold, snowy winter night at Kennedy Airport, straight from Cairns, dressed in his shorts and thongs, to the rooftop bar hops across the city, to being part of the FNQ crew's triumphant forays into Manhattan over the years. The man left a mark. And he used to say, live life to its fullest and live it with the ones you love. And on those notes, he was a winner. He is a truly unique individual who has made us all the richer for knowing him. and we'll always miss him and always love him.
Hi, I'm Michelle, and I'm doing my tribute to Robbie from the airport, which kind of seems chaotic and cheesy, but in a way it's really fitting for Robbie because he spent many weeks, hours, months travelling through airports, so I thought it was really fitting. Australia, Queensland, tropical North Queensland was so lucky to have somebody so passionate about the region, about the country. I was extremely lucky to have known him both professionally and personally, sharing many cheeky Chardonnays with him and getting many words of wisdom from Robbie, and of course many wonderful jokes over the years. He'll be truly missed, and I'm extremely grateful for his family for letting him travel and sharing him with all of us. I'll be raising a glass for him. He truly was a legend, and truly miss him.
I met Robbie around 22 years ago at the 8 Bells in Chipping Campden with the lovely Ronnie Livingston and Stainless Steel. After many wines, and I have a random memory of a knight's helmet, Robbie asked me to marry him. Now, I'm under no illusion that I was the only marriage proposal during his time, and it soon transpired he just wanted me for my surname. So from that day on, he became known to me as the future Mr. Robbie Williams. I haven't worked in Australian tourism now for over 15 years, but Robbie remained a constant in my life, always there with his wise words, sometimes not so wise words. And he was a true friend, and for that I will always be grateful. It's too early for wine right now, but I've already raised several glasses to you, Robbie, and maybe I will meet you at the altar in the next life. Until then, keep the wine chilled and enjoy the sunsets. Love you. The future Mrs. Robbie Williams.
Hi, it's David from Southern World here. I first met Robbie in the late 80s when I was working for Newman's up in Los Angeles, and at that stage the Cairns Mafia were coming through on a regular basis with all their Queensland product, and a good night was had by many on more than one occasion when I was living up there. Over the years I've caught up with him in many different capacities and for many different companies he worked for. More recently, post-COVID, I remember popping into Ludico and Trinity Beach unannounced and finding him exactly where I thought he would be, at the bar, and hung out with him for a couple of hours. I'm actually in Buenos Aires at the moment. Robbie was supposed to be on this road trip with us, the Latinos Down Under roadshow in South America this week, so it's all been a bit of a shock to us, but we've had a few drinks on his behalf already, and I'd just like to say that he was a good man, he was a really good friend, and we're all going to miss him.
Robbie, anyone who knew you, who worked with you or travelled alongside you knows you're a true legend of tourism. I feel incredibly lucky to have learned from you. Even though you'd frame our catch-ups in LA as me providing market intel, I always walked away having gained and learned so much more from you, and I never wanted to miss one of our chats. You had a way of bringing people together, connecting dots across the industry, not just for the benefit of Far North Queensland, but for all Queensland and of all of Australia. You understood something fundamental, that a win for Australia was a win for us all, that international visitors don't see borders between regions or states, they just see the experience. Thank you, Robbie, for everything you gave to tourism. We all know how much your family meant to you, and we also know how much the tourism family meant to you. You embodied the spirit of Australian tourism. Rest easy, mate.
Yeah, g'day, Robbie. Look, just wanted to say a few short words to say thank you for an amazing career. An absolute legend in North Queensland, and while I haven't worked and didn't work alongside directly with you, I'm very proud to have shared many ATEs and trade shows with you. I think it reminds me, I think of a really great quote which is so apt for you, and that is, it's not about what you've done in your career, it is about the legacy that you leave. And Robbie, thank you. What an amazing legacy, an outstanding individual, and for your contribution to tourism, not only in North Queensland, but in Australia. Thank you, mate.
All right, to everybody in Australia, cheers from Chicago. We're here to celebrate the man, the myth, the legend, Robbie Bastion. He's touched all of our hearts, and as one person said, he'd probably say something very funny about that comment of what he's touched. Anyways, just to say that a very special human being is no longer with us in person, but he will always be with us every time we raise a glass. So we're raising a glass to Robbie Bastion. Everything that he's meant to us, to you, and let's keep talking about him because that's exactly how he would like it. So we're just going to do a classic Aussie cheers here. Robbie, Robbie, Robbie! Robbie, Robbie, Robbie! Robbie, Robbie, Robbie! Robbie, Robbie! Robbie, Robbie, Robbie! Love you, mate. Cheers.
Cheers.
My piece of advice today is about time. It's the most important commodity that we have in our lives. No matter how long we live, we'll never have enough of it. It's the one item that we can't buy any more of. We have what we have. So it's important that we spend our time wisely, doing the things we love with the people we love, our friends, our family, our children. We can always buy property, we can always buy cars, we can always buy trinkets, but we can't buy time. It's precious. Use it wisely.